Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whichever part of the world that you're watching from. And welcome to Bridging the Gap, a talk show all about water leadership for a resilient future, brought to you live here from Stockholm by GIZ at the World Water Week. Now, it's amazing to have you all here, whether you're here in Stockholm in the room with us or whether you're tuning in online. I would say a very warm welcome to you. My name is Hajia Yacoubi, and I will have the honor to guide you through this talk show because in this talk show in specific, we're going to focus on a very important topic because in the water sector, we often talk about technology, we often talk about infrastructure, about investments, but there's another challenge that gets less attention, which is all about leadership. So around the world, we see a lot of talented technical experts. They're rising through the ranks, but really transitioning from managing operations to leadership positions can be very daunting in that transition. Without strong leadership pipelines, we know that even the best systems can fall short. And that is what this talk show focuses on. We're here to shine a light on the Leadership Development Program in Egypt, which is a unique initiative that really equips emerging leaders to step into top decision-making roles with confidence and also with vision. And together we'll explore in this upcoming 20 minutes how leadership development is reshaping utilities, how it's strengthening resilience, and how it's creating a new generation of decision makers who are ready to lead in times of complexity and also climate stress. So I would say a lot to unpack, but luckily I have an amazing stellar panel here with me to guide us through those big questions. So first of all, I want to say a very warm welcome to Ahmed Rander, who is a GIZ project management advisor. So very warm welcome to you.
Thank you very much, Roger.
Then we also have Noha El-Dessouki, who's a general manager of training at the holding company for water and wastewater. Very good to see you as well.
Me too, thank you.
And last but certainly not least, I'm very delighted to be joined by Mahmoud Mehani, who is a manager of the Water and Sanitation Safety Plan Department at the holding company for water and wastewater.
Thank you.
Welcome to you all. Now, I mean, we have a lot to unpack all together. So, Noha, if I can start with you. I mean, when we see sort of Egypt's water utility network, it's one of the largest in the region. So, could you give us a bit of an overview just to set the scene of its scale and also what it means specifically when it comes to leadership?
As you said, Hajar, Egypt's water utility network is one of the largest in the region. Holding company for water and wastewater oversees 25 affiliated company. It provides water and wastewater services for all Egypt's 27 governorates. We serve a population of 112 million people.
Oh, wow.
The numbers that continue to grow. And we manage a workforce of 147,000 employees. At present, service coverage of water is 97%, and for wastewater is 67%. Operating at such a scale brings to us a great responsibility
Yes.
and a huge challenge, not only in terms of infrastructure and service providing, but also in terms of system and people. Leadership isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Each utility works in unique context. What fits Cairo as a capital city with high density may not fit rural village like Sharqiyya or a desert governorate like Al-Aqsa and Aswan. That's why our leaders need to be more than strongly technical professionals.
Right.
They must be agile decision maker, effective communicator, inspiring team builders. Every decision impact and have consequences on life. Holding company for water and wastewater consider leadership development as a main pillar of its strategy. We are investing in people to be more proactive, to anticipate, adapt, and respond for fast changing environment.
Right.
And we believe that investing in leaders or in human capital guarantees the sustainability and the resilience of our system.
Yeah, which I love is in what you're saying, right? That, you know, leadership is not a luxury, it is a real necessity. And you sort of like also show how important it is in times like these. So, I mean, touching upon that, Ahmed, if I can then go to you, like, what would you then say triggered, so to say, the creation of this leadership development program?
Okay, so that's actually a very important question because the initial trigger was quite strategic. The holding company, along with GIZ, had made great progress in transforming the organization culture within the company. So we started to be like introducing competency-based and performance-driven technical and managerial career path. A huge shift from the traditional seniority-based model that we were focused on. However, we find out that something was missing. A gap was identified. When shifting from operational directors managing different departments to a chairman or vice chairman, this was this required a different skill set, especially with the water scarcity issues and the climate change impacts that we're facing, the ambiguous challenges that we see. We needed leader, like we've seen proficient, let's say this, we've seen proficient people who excelled technically. However, when they are asked to lead policy, strategy, or large teams, they start to struggle. So this was the gap we intended to fill. So the leadership development was there, not just as a course, but a platform for future leaders to rethink their roles and expand their perspectives. So we're not just, empowering them to be in a higher position, but rather for higher purpose.
Right, and I love how you say that, because it's like the obstacle that you then identify, like getting into like higher level decision making. That is where the bottleneck is. A leadership development program. No, if I can go to you just quickly, because I mean, with leadership development programs, we often see that selection, like sort of the selection process, either it's a make or it's a break. So how is your approach different in that
the
regard?
word make or break, and we really insist to make the program and to be successful. We know from the beginnings that the selection should be intentional, strategic, and data-driven. We develop a multi-step and design a multi-step assessment process, such as psychometric assessment test, aptitude test, realistic simulation, to reflect the challenges and the problem faced by our leaders. We, instead of choosing or selecting high seniority professionals, we focused on the greatest mindset, high potential, great performance, in order to reflect this diversity across governance rates and functional background. There is a majority from engineers and laboratories, and there is from the support function, financial, commercial, and HR. And we give a special attention for gender. Women were represented for about 40% of our candidates.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's to enhance the diversity and to expand opportunities.
Yeah.
This mix of talent bring to us, it's not a traditional formation of training group. We develop a leadership cohort.
That's amazing. That's really good to hear also how you sort of focus on those different attributes also, because in a broader sense, it's, if you want to overcome a bottleneck and get people into positions where it's harder to sort of like get, you also want to take sort of other intersectional approaches there. So it's great to see that. I mean, we have somebody here with us. Mahmoud, I want to go to you because you went through said selection process. So I was curious if anybody can speak to it, then it's you. So could you share with us what your experience was with it? What was it like? Did anything surprise you also in it?
Yeah, of course. What I wanted to say about how the assessment was and how the selection process was, actually, it was not about just testing. It was about how I show leadership in a position that under pressure, how you chose the leadership. Actually, most of the selection process and even the training itself was about case study. So they gave us cases, which is a real one, and it become more intense and intense. So, and you have this kind of tension that you, it's a real case, and you are the one who need to take a fast decision, and also based on accurate data.
Wow.
So it was intense, but I think I grew up from this kind of experience with more point to more what is my strengths and also what is the blind spot I have. It was a starting point for me for the leading career.
Yeah, I love that. And I also love that the example that you mentioned, it sort of showcases not just theory, but it's like practice. Like showing real case examples that you may encounter in leadership and how would you deal with it. So speaking to that, Ahmed, if I can go to you, how would you say that, what are other ways in which you sort of like make sure that you bridge theory and practice in the program itself?
Okay, so let me tell you this. Making it relevant to the real world is very crucial, and that's why it was a guiding principle for us from day one. Because we knew that if participants could not apply what they were learning, the impact would fade quickly.
Right.
So we started co-designing the program with people who understand the sector inside and out. So do I mean trainers? Yes, of course, but also water utility experts and policy advisors. We also brought in role plays, case studies, and real-life simulations from Egypt and abroad, and we started having gamification for the sessions. People were grouped into task forces and solved some complex and really hard problems, as Mahmoud said, while being observed.
Yeah.
And another key element is that we had people from all over the place, from all over Egypt, from each of the 25 countries. So this sparked a very rich conversation. People started learning from each other. So what was the result of this? That they could take actually ideas from classroom and apply them Monday morning. And that's how when you know it's working.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean that's like in essence that means that you're so action based that people can implement it right away, which is really great to hear. So, but another thing that you touch upon, I mean, you mentioned 25 companies, you mentioned people all over Egypt, like it's all different regions. How do you sort of like how have you dealt with that? Because it could pose a challenge also to roll something out when there are so many different companies, so many different regions. How did you deal with that?
Okay, so yeah, absolutely it was a challenge because we had people from 25 companies, each with their own backgrounds and local realities and everything. So this would seem like a huge challenge for us. And surprisingly, it was our strength. So the program intentionally mixed people together in order to have this shared experience and spark this rich conversation that we talk about. It was an enabling environment for cross-pollination. Participants were learning from each other. And another challenge that we face is that we had to make sure that the trainers are content experts at the same time they are water sector relevant.
Yeah.
So we solved this by personally, along with the holding company, walking through each and every module that we presented to make sure that it's, again, has high quality and relevant to the sector. So this level of rigor is what ensured the consistency and meaningfulness of the program.
Yeah.
And that's why it has such a strong uptake.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing all of this and I'm getting very curious to the results because I'm like, this sounds great, right? So Noha, I would say don't keep us in suspense any longer. What have been some of the visible results that you've sort of experienced from the program?
The results have been remarkable and I am proud of it. And I'll tell you some figures to show you why I am proud.
Right.
There is 10% of the participant promoted to chairpersons for some affiliated company.
Okay.
And this is a very good percent. About 30 to 40% have been promoted to vice president for some other companies, affiliated companies. And that's also exciting. And the rest were promoted for different high positions, sector heads or general managers. But beyond promotion, there is a real change in behavior and in culture.
Okay.
Leaders now can communicating very effectively, delegating in more confidence, and thinking more strategically. Most important, for the first time, we have a sustainable leadership pipeline, not only to focus on seniority or informal network. And we were systematically identifying and preparing leadership for the future. It has created a real momentum. Leadership is no longer seen as an unattainable aspiration. It's seen as a set of skills that can be developed and practiced. And this program reshaping the culture, and we build a great foundation for HCWW future leaders.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing because you don't just speak to very, very material results, but the bit where you touch upon also behavioral sort of changes, the fact that you also give people this sense of something being within reach as opposed to this sort of unsurmountable gap that they can't bridge. I think that in essence, that may be immaterial, but it's like even bigger perhaps in value, so to say, in impact. Mahmoud, if I can go to you, because I want to dive a bit deeper into that. How would you say, having experienced sort of like this leadership development program, how would you say that it has changed your daily life at work or like even beyond? Do you see a lot of differences for yourself?
Yeah. So this is one of that added to me by the course that by the training program, you found that leadership is not just about a training, it is about how your daily life will be affected. So practicing leadership in daily life, not just in the work, but also in the house, to say. So in the work, I start, one of the things that I have learned is about coaching, how to speak one-to-one to my team. Of course, the team feels that he is more heard, the people is more heard, and also they also engage in the work.
Right.
The second thing which affects, as I said, my family, that I try to speak with my daughters better, asking better questions, becoming more intentional what is going on.
That's good.
And
Really
it did,
cool.
of course, affect in a good way.
Yeah.
to say that the leadership is not about titles. Is that what I was thinking? But it is more about your influence. How you this is small things is affecting the team.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love how you said that. Also, I love the fact that it worked even with daughters, which I think goes to show that it goes to say that it's a very structural change, right? It's indeed about how can you make other people feel? Can you let other people feel appreciated? Can you make them feel seen? That's really at the heart of leadership, and it's amazing to hear that you got to experience that even more so through the leadership development program. Now, I mean, considering all of this, Ahmed, have you seen? I mean, this is already shows the impact of what is going on, but have you seen ripple effects beyond the individual participant?
Okay, I love that question because those ripple effects may be the most important testament of the success that we had. So beyond the individual experience that was shared with us with Mahmoud, we've seen people collaborate across governance and across companies and co-design solutions for shared problems. But you know what's even more telling? That the Ministry of Housing, Utilities and Urban Communities, which is our core partner, they took notice. They explicitly requested that the leadership program be implemented within the ministry.
Oh, wow.
So right now, the leadership development program extended beyond the holding company to include the Ministry of Housing, Ministry of Agriculture, and Ministry of Irrigation. So we think it's not an isolated training, it's a broader reform culture that we're introducing to the Egypt's water governance sector.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, that's also, I mean, that's a very big success story, so to say, that it's like even spreading horizontally even broader. So that's like horizontal sort of spreading. Noha, if I can go to you specifically, looking also at the holding company, like vertical, perhaps longevity of the program, how would you say, what are your plans for scaling or perhaps sustaining the leadership development program in the years to come?
As you said, sustainability is already in motion. We don't see this program as a pilot training program. It's a long-term transformation. Holding company integrated the tools in the leadership development program into our system. We have a career path management system and succession planning strategy. These tools already embedded internally in the system, and we have already planned for future cohort. We were nominated for awards in the region.
Okay.
And it was truly exciting that we scaling beyond us, as Ahmed said. The program is replicated with Ministry of Housing, Ministry of Irrigation, Ministry of Agriculture, and this was very interesting. This means our approach will shape the future of next generation of public sector, and we consider it a national strategy.
I love that. I love that. And that touches so much upon what Ahmed also said. It's not just like a success story in itself. It's really a reform if you go to look at it. And if you also go to look at the widespreadness with which it is right now emerging, that is really amazing to hear. I want to touch back upon something that you said at the very beginning, Noha, which is that leadership is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And I think everything that you've all collectively shared really speaks to that. It's really the foundation. We know that it's not just an add-on or a nice to have. If we don't have strong leadership, if we don't create these pipelines, and you're, I think, a very inspiring case study also of how that is happening, that we know that we're not going to make the transition that we need to make with all the pressing times that we have right now regarding ecological crises. So thank you so much for shedding light upon that. I want to thank everyone here in Stockholm in the room with us for being here, and to all those of you tuning in online, thank you so much, and please help keep on spreading the message forward.